Welcome to my phrasal verb series. This is the series where I teach you a phrasal verb and then we read a story from it. Why? Because learning phrasal verbs is much more than just trying to memorize it. They're actually kind of complicated and there's so many of them. So the best way to learn them is through a story. So that is what we are going to do right now. We are going to read a story using the phrasal verb break off. So how can you use break off? So break off is literally something that was together and now it's broken. And so you can break off a wedding, for example. You're planning a wedding and then, it does not work out. And so you break off. So that is one way to use it. You can use it for something very physical instead. So if I had my watch here and maybe there was a cut and it broke off, that is another way to use break off. But really it is anything that just ends very abruptly, very suddenly. So that is how we use break off. So let's look into our story now. This story is about a man named Richard Thompson and he is a business tycoon. And so we are going to read the story and see how we can use break off in the story so that it makes more sense to you. Now, just for a little note, I am going to put some vocabulary words in the description so that you can follow along more closely. There are a lot more advanced words in here, so just to make sure that you understand it, take a look in the description to see other vocabulary words. Alright, so let's get into our story. Once upon a time in the bustling city of New York, there was a successful business tycoon named Richard Thompson. Richard owned a thriving company called Thompson Enterprises, which specialized in manufacturing high-quality furniture. One day, Richard received a distressing phone call from his longtime business partner, Jonathan. Jonathan wanted to break off their partnership due to personal reasons. Richard was taken aback by this unexpected news. He knew that their collaboration had been crucial to the growth and success of their business. Determined to salvage their relationship, Richard invited Jonathan to a meeting at his luxurious office. As Jonathan arrived at the office, Richard tried his best to understand the reasons behind Jonathan's decision. They had built the company together from scratch and had faced numerous challenges along the way. Richard was not ready to let go of their shared vision so easily. During their intense discussion, Richard managed to bring their financial advisor, Mr. Stevens, to provide a fresh perspective. Mr. Stevens analyzed their business operations and highlighted the significance of their partnership in maintaining stability and growth. His insights helped Jonathan realize the potential consequences of their separation. Just as the meeting seemed to be reaching a positive turning point, an unexpected turn of events occurred. Suddenly, there was a loud crash at the door. A frustrated employee had burst in. This employee, Sarah, had been facing difficulties with her team and wanted immediate intervention. Richard, determined to maintain a harmonious work environment, swiftly resolved the issue and assured Sarah that he would address her concerns. The interruption caused a brief disruption in the meeting, but it also served as a wake-up call for Richard and Jonathan. They realized that the challenges they were currently facing were mere hurdles in the journey of their business. It was a call for them to come out stronger and find innovative solutions together. Motivated by this realization, Richard and Jonathan decided to call a recess in the meeting. They retreated to Richard's private office where they engaged in heartfelt conversations about their shared dreams and aspirations. They recognized that their partnership was much more than a business venture. It was a friendship built on trust, perseverance, and a mutual passion for success. With renewed determination, Richard and Jonathan emerged from the recess ready to address their differences and find common ground. They acknowledged that the occasional disagreements were inevitable in the business world, but pledged to communicate openly and resolve conflicts without resorting to breaking off their partnership. In the following weeks, Richard and Jonathan worked tirelessly to strengthen their company's foundation. They implemented new strategies, streamlined their operations, and fostered a more inclusive and collaborative work environment. Their commitment to their shared vision paid off as Thompson Enterprises experienced unprecedented growth and success. Years later, as Richard looked back on their journey, he realized that the decision to break off their partnership could have been detrimental to their business. However, an open dialogue, bringing in the outside expertise, bursting in with unexpected challenges, calling for reflection, and ultimately coming out stronger, they had transformed their business into an empire. Richard and Jonathan's story became an inspiration for many aspiring entrepreneurs, reminding them of the power of perseverance, collaboration, and the ability to navigate the ever-changing landscape of the business world without breaking off what truly mattered: their shared dream and unwavering determination. So there is our story about Jonathan and Richard, who almost broke off their business partnership, but in the end worked it out and they were happily successful together. So that is our story. Now, what I need you to do is to think about, how was break off being used in this context? In this case, it was a very business setting. Can you make an example by yourself? If you want to try to make it to the next level, try to use break off into a different setting, maybe within a relationship, maybe with family matters. Try to find other ways you can use it. If you're not sure, write your example down and put it down in the comments down below, and I can take a look and maybe correct you if I need to. One of the things about learning advanced English is really making the time for it. I always make the example that if you want to be strong with big muscles, you have to go consistently at the gym, right? Consistently lifting weights, consistently doing something to get to your goal. It's the same thing with English. You're going to have to consistently practice all the time. If you're not sure how to fit it in your schedule right now, I made an entire roadmap for you. It's basically a little blueprint for you to try to figure out what are the best ways for you to learn English with your lifestyle right now, and go from there and be successful. So if you want to take a look at that roadmap, click on the link down below. All right, so now on to the next phrasal verb story. Click on the link just over here.